Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
What's up, man?
What's up, yo? What's going on, man?
A lot. A lot is going on.
This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's boy Scotty B.
All right, so, man, I'm going to tell you this, Scott. From Sunday, I was prepared to come in here and talk, we're going to talk the football playoffs, basketball, whatever. And then today happened. I'm telling you, Wednesdays are amazing. Like, Wednesdays are starting to be like the most exciting day of the week, probably because, we do the show and everything. But my gosh. All right, so if you've been under a rock the last couple hours, James Harden got traded. He gone.
I was shocked, man. Okay. Let me say I'm not shocked. So let's start with last night.
Mm-hmm.
They played the Lakers.
Got their butts kicked.
Yeah, got their butts kicked. And that was the second time they really got kicked, their butts kicked by the Lakers. And, everybody that's been watching the season, typically the teams are playing like each other back to back,
Right.
Just to kind of limit on travel and stuff like that. So they got their butts kicked twice by the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And so James Harden comes out and he's like, I don't know what else I could do. I've done a lot for the city. I don't think this situation is going to be repaired. It's just a lack of talent, man. We just don't have.
You're not good enough.
Yeah, we're just not good enough. When he said that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I was like, he went there. And then did you see the press conference with John Wall and Boogie?
Yes.
And I mean, Boogie was dead on. He was just like, look, the disrespect started way before now the statements. And, shoot, I'm here because I want to play with John Wall. Basically screw Harden. And, John Wall kind of doubled down on it like, yeah, peace be gone. So I'm like, behind the scenes, between those guys, it must be so much that people
don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that it is. I feel like Harden probably wasn't really practicing. And if he was practicing, I wouldn't even say like how Jimmy Butler got out of Minnesota and how he was just taking on the whole team with the third stringers. I don't think it was that. I think that James Harden was pretty much being a diva. And he probably wasn't practicing. He probably was like almost like this. I don't need y'all. Y'all need me more than I need y'all type of attitude. And we all knew he didn't want to be there. From the time that Russell Westbrook got traded, we knew James Harden did not want to be there. He stated he didn't want to be there. I mean, it was the worst kept secret. So I feel like they did say that they were gonna keep him away. They said they won't keep him away from the team until he got traded. That was like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So now he's gone, and I see people, saying it's bad for the Nets, but I do feel like, because let's be honest, these last 5 or so games, he didn't care about the game. He was just going through the motions. We're gonna see a I don't want to say inspired, right? Maybe we're gonna see a different James Harden that we saw over the last week. I think he's gonna be motivated, and he ultimately got what he wanted. Now he's like, now you have to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's out of shape, but I think most people would agree that him being out of shape, he's still a top 10 player out of shape. So, I heard somebody today, they said, well, he's better than 1/3 of the NBA. It's like, no, he's better than everybody else still out of shape.
It's true, though, man. It is.
Yeah, and one thing that we can say about James Harden, over the past couple of months, a lot of his issues and diva tendencies have been highlighted. But when it's Harden's time to show up and play, aside from the playoffs, but pretty much they got it anymore. Yeah, that guy didn't take any days off. You don't see any load management games. I mean, he's walking in there. He's going to give you 38 points, more than likely 8 assists and 8 rebounds when he's at the top of his game. So he's a primetime player. What I'm disappointed in is I felt like if he would have bought in a little bit more to what they had going on in Houston, he would have realized that the team was a lot better than I think he realized. Right. John Wall came back in phenomenal shape. He looks like himself 2 years ago. The young boy Christian Wood can play. We're starting to see Boogie Cousins start to turn over to a new leaf, and he's in shape, and he's starting to find his footing. That team wasn't going to be necessary because right now they're 3-6. So right now I didn't expect them to be just 6-3 or 7-2. But you give that team another month, and they were going to start firing on all cylinders. But I guess we won't find out now.
So not only did they received LeVert, Karis LeVert, and they got Victor Oladipo. I think that team, the way it's set up right now, can go on one hell of a run. Because you got to think now, those guys are motivated. Those guys on the Rockets, they feel disrespected, and as they should. I mean, they were disrespected by that man, and now it's they have to show and prove. I mean, you're getting LeVert, you're getting Oladipo. So Jared Allen ended up going to the Cavs, and I think Torian is with the Cavs. So regardless, they are going to be. I'm sorry. Yeah, LeVert is with the Pacers, and Oladipo. I put them together. But anyway, but even so, Oladipo, Wall, and Boogie Cousins with Christian Wood. They got an eye little squad. They already had an eye little squad, and I do think that they can get up. I might have to change my my stand. I think they're going to be at least a 4 seed.
Yeah, I think John Wall and Oladipo complement each other a little bit better. They're not a better backcourt, but I think their skill sets fit each other a lot better than Harden. I don't think that it's a fair trade-off in talent now, but if you look at what they got and what they got down the road, I mean, to replace James Harden with Oladipo and all those picks that they got, they can't miss on those picks. Hopefully not, but they're good for the future. They still have a steady roster. It's going to be a pretty good team. I think Houston, I would give them an A for what they got. The Nets, I understood why they made the deal, and they needed to make the deal. But if this doesn't work, they have just screwed themselves long term for a while.
You know what this trade reminds me of. I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but this trade reminds me a lot of KG and Paul Pierce to the Nets, and the Nets gave up the farm for Asian vets.
Yeah, it almost reminds me a little bit of the Carmelo Denver trade some years back to where you go all in and you're thinking you're going to get the superstar, and I mean individually, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant is I don't know if we've seen a greater collaboration of individual talent on the same team. Now, will it work? I mean, it's a lot of personalities. It's a lot of egos. They've got a. It's only one basketball. It'll be interesting to see if the chemistry can gel. I mean, now James Harden, to his advantage, he's got Mike D'Antoni on the bench, so he's going to be able to hit the ground running in some sort of offense that he's familiar with.
Right.
But the knock on the Nets right now, and I had the Nets coming out the East even before all this, is they're soft.
Well, they lost. Because I don't think they're gonna have to get another big. I don't think DeAndre Jordan is the guy. Right.
He's playing good though. He's playing good.
I mean, Jared Allen. I think Jared. They're gonna need Jared Allen, especially when you're dealing with the Sixers, even Boston, Milwaukee, Miami. When you're dealing with teams that got bigs, he ain't gonna be enough. Now, offensively, as far as scoring, they don't need any bigs to score. But they need toughness. They need toughness.
They got 3 spots. They got 3 spots to fill. So it's going to be interesting who they pick up. Mm-hmm. I know if I'm one of those vets that's maybe on the outside looking in, maybe that's a team I look to sign with just to be another body that they could throw at. Because like you said, they're going to need bigs moving forward. Their roster, I wouldn't say is depleted. I would say that it needs to be restructured just a little bit, just with a few more players, just to give them the balance the roster out. Because Spencer Dinwiddie, he's still out.
He's out for the year, though. So.
Yeah, he's out for the year. So you can't use him. Like you said, LeVert and Allen, those were critical pieces off the bench, but they still have Harris, good shooter. They still got not Shumpert, but what's his name? The boy from the Clippers. What is that guy's name? Shamit or
Shamit.
That's Shamit or whatever his name is. They got him. And then they got Jeff Green.
So they have some pieces, and we know they're still probably going to come out of the East. Maybe I'm not saying that, but I getting Harden is a big deal. I know some people are like, "Oh, it's a bad trade for the Nets," but I don't necessarily think so. I don't think so.
With a team like that, and here's the thing, right? So we expect them to struggle. We don't know how long that Kyrie is going to be out, but with a team of that magnitude of talent, all they have to do is really get in. It's not about whether or not they get the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed. If they roll in there as the 6 or 7 seed, which I believe they're, I want to say 3 and 6 as well. They're not firing at all. So even though they beat Denver last night, but if they could just get in there, they can contend with anybody in the East with no problem. And I think most people agree, as long as they're healthy, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the East. Does that give them enough to beat the Lakers?
Nobody's beating the Lakers this year. So.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to go against that.
They're 6-6 also. Working at 6-6.
Oh, 6-6. Okay. So they must have won a couple more of that.
Yeah. Do I think that they have enough to beat the Lakers right now? No. They're gonna have to make some moves. They're gonna have to find a way to they're gonna have to get some vets in there, and some guys are gonna take little to no money. Ain't no more money to give them. So they're gonna have to take the minimum or the league minimum or vet minimum, whatever. Let me ask you this, because I know we talked about Harden, and does it make him look like a whiny little brat?
Absolutely. But truth be told, he's doing what most superstars do. You know, what I mean, he had all the leverage, and I mean, he, in my opinion, executed his plan to a T on how to get out of there. I mean, he expressed that he was disgruntled. He showed up late, showed up out of shape, looked like a shell of himself, looked disinterested, created controversy in the locker room, and he pretty much forced the Houston Rockets' hand well before they wanted to. They didn't want to get rid of James Harden, but I think they realized between what we don't know, what was going on behind the scenes, and what we saw, it was at a point to where somebody was like, "Yeah, this is not looking good." I heard one report that he had got into a fight with one of his teammates, and he was throwing balls at him, and he was just doing all sort of stuff. So it's a lot of stories that we don't know, but just the snippet that we saw last night let me know everything that I need to know, that he's got to go.
Yeah, it was tough because coming into the season, they got a new general manager, they got a new coach. So they probably were like, man, they were like, man, what is happening? Why can't he just get with the program? But he just looked at the roster the way it was constructed, and he ultimately felt, I can't do this. And he was checked out before the season even started. So at that point, he was like, let me just try and find a way to get out of here. Do I think he was a whiny little brat? Absolutely. But I don't know why it seems so different than him and Anthony Davis and him and Carmelo. I don't know why it feels but it feels really, really different than it did when Carmelo forced his way out of Denver and when Anthony Davis forced his way out of New Orleans. Maybe because they wasn't going to the strip club and taking pictures with everybody, and I don't know. It was just kind of crazy because, like, even with Jimmy Butler, it didn't feel like he was being whiny. He just said that these guys don't work hard, and I don't want to be here with guys that don't want to play defense and don't work hard.
So the difference between Anthony Davis and Carmelo Anthony when they did it, or Dwight Howard, they were on their last year. You know what I mean? So they pretty much essentially.
Not Carmelo. Carmelo had
on it. No, he was on his last year. He was on his last year. When he went from Denver to the, he informed them. He told them, like, listen,
he still had a year left.
He had a year, but he was nearing the end of his contract, and he was pretty much letting them know, like, look, I'm not re-signing with you. I'm going to New York or whatever. That's where I want to go. If you want to get something for my services and you don't want it to end up like LeBron with the whole Cleveland situation the first time he left, then this is what it is. So, yeah, the fans were mad. The organization was mad. But at the end of the day, they get to choose where they want to play, and they were honest and they were upfront. Well, Harden, man, he had multiple years. Now, I'm not going to discredit his 8 years. It felt like for his 8 years, he gave the organization everything he had.
Absolutely.
But the way he just said, you know what, you fired everybody. I'm not even going to give this an opportunity. I mean, we're 9 games in. You figure John Wall and Boogie didn't even play the first couple of games because of the whole COVID protocol. So then you got, and you were late. You weren't at training camp. Right. And you just walk in and you just like, nah, screw it. So I think that's why it feels a lot different to most people is like, yeah, you forced your way out to get what you want. Right. The end result is I think everybody gets to see what we wanted to see. We didn't want to see Harden and a Wizard uniform or a Cleveland uniform, or even though I wanted to see him in the Knicks uniform, we get to see him with the Nets. All right, time to put up. You that's where you asked to be.
He could have done a better job of staying in shape though. God, he looks terrible. He is like badly built.
Hey, he still can put up buckets though. Still can put up buckets.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. So I guess before we get off of here, I know you gave the Rockets a grade. What grade do you get in Nets?
I think right now I give them an A2.
An A?
They went all in. They went all in.
Woo!
They went all in. And I think that they will be able to fix. Look, right. You got James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. Now we'll get into the soap opera that it'll be. And if you thought Phil Jackson was able to manage personalities, we're about to see Steve Nash. We're about to see. Yeah, we're about to see what Steve Nash. Yo, we're about to see what Steve Nash is made of. If those guys can figure out how to buy in, and it's going to take a lot of leadership from Kevin Durant. Yep. It's going to take a lot of leadership from Kyrie Irving because they've been champions, and it's going to take a little bit from Harden. Go ahead.
Leadership from Kyrie.
I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that because, by the way, he's my winner of the week. So I don't want to. I don't want to talk too much about him.
All right, let's go.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, so I've been trying to hold it. Kyrie Irving has just been moving sideways, man. The birthday party, the just personal time off, I guess he wants to be a politician. It's like, I get that he's trying to help individuals, and I get that he has other things bigger than basketball, but we're literally 9 games into the season. Do your job, show up, and you can still do all that stuff, but just I feel like he's being selfish right now.
You don't say.
Yeah, I think he's being selfish. And you have to communicate, right? Communication is key. You don't just get to go. Well, maybe you do. Maybe in the Nets organization, you just get to not show up, say, I'm just taking personal time off, not call your coach and call a teammate and just say, you know what? I won't be there. I'll holler at y'all when I get back. I got other stuff to do in the middle of the season. And this team is a team that's supposed to be challenging for the championship. So for him to do that, I just don't like the way Kyrie is moving. And that's why he's my winner of the week. I'll let you go.
Okay. So luckily it's not Mental Health Awareness Month, but something's going on. So initially when I heard all this Kyrie mess, I was hoping that something wasn't seriously wrong with like maybe his dad or a family member, and I was like, because it was like he's going away for personal reasons, and the first thing I thought was, man, I hope something ain't wrong with somebody in his family. And then like a couple of days later, you see like the video comes of him doing the cookout dance at his sister's party, and I'm just like, oh, it's the middle of the season. And not to mention, it ain't like you was in the bubble or you played in the playoffs in the bubble. He didn't even go. He didn't even go. So it's like, man, you had all that time to do whatever it is that you had to do or you wanted to do. It ain't like he was taking off to go to Capitol Hill and try and fight off the protests or rioters. He wasn't. It wasn't like he was there. He was home or wherever he was, chilling. He ultimately was just chilling. So I feel like that the Nets are giving him a pass, and you know the league has ultimately gotten into it now, and at this point it's like they have to do something. Like so he's gonna have to go through quarantine, and he's gonna miss out on all this money, and which obviously he doesn't care about. But you know Harden did the same thing. Harden got lucky. Harden they just had a little outbreak, so their game got postponed. So that's not going to happen with the Nets. They're going to play, and so he's going to miss all these games, and so it's going to so ultimately they're going to have to wait for that break. I think there's a 2-week break they get in February, that's when they're going to have to go on a run. You know, it's not going to be now for the next month. He'll be back probably next week, and I think they all knew this was going to happen. Maybe he was he was resting because he won't miss another game going forward after the break, after they come back from the break. Me personally, I think that this is a good question too. I think that they knew what was going to happen. They knew what was going to happen, and they said it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So now he's going to get an extended break. They're going to go on that break, and then they plan on going on this run. This reeks of 2020 LA Clippers. That's what it reeks of. 2020 LA Clippers. You have all these expectations, and everybody's putting them in the finals, on the conference finals, and they fail. So I honestly think that KD, because it's up to KD, because that's what's giving Kyrie all his power. It's KD, because if that's his boy, KD needs to call that man and say, "Yo, you need to fix it. You need to." Unless KD already knows it, and they have devised some crazy plan that they're gonna go on this magical run and they're gonna get it all, and it's all gonna come together, which never happens. It's rare that happens. You know what I'm saying? So
the first thing is Kyrie Irving's making $33 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's been signed with the Nets, he's only played in 33% of the games. That's terrible. The other thing too is, sorry, Kevin Durant, sorry, James Harden, but somebody's got to have the tough conversation. Steve Nash, somebody's got to have the tough conversation with Kyrie, and it may be painful. He may not want to hear it, but somebody's got to hold him accountable on that team. And you're absolutely right. And that's where I think a lot of people feel like they will fail. And I guess that's where we were going before we talked about the winner of the week.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has to be the leader. It's not going to work. Everybody doing their own thing, people taking personal time, this person coming out of shape and partying with little baby, this person out here putting in the work but ain't saying nothing to anybody. It's not going to work unless they figure out how to get on the same page. Good luck, Steve Nash. Good luck.
So
that's tough.
So my question, what Phil was asking, would you be cool with Kyrie's action if he was your teammate?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Again, we all know, you know, the more talented you are, the more rope you get. You know, so of course he's a top player in the league, and so yeah, he's gonna get more rope. But eventually that rope starts coming down, and it's like, oh man, we can't deal with this anymore. But I hope. Let me not say it's not gonna happen. I hope it doesn't get to that. And I hope they do get it rolling, because that would be definitely fun to see. You know, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. So man, but you know what? Let's move off of basketball. Because it is the playoffs, and I just want to say that I only got one game wrong last week, Scott. You had multiple games wrong. Well, you know, that's not. Let's talk about the game you did. The main game. Don't look like that.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
All right, let's talk about the main game that we. I think we had a bet on that. We had a bet on the Browns and the Steelers. Man, oh man, oh man. Hey, you all right? You good now?
Yeah, I'm listening, man. I'm just listening.
No, I'm asking you a question. Are you good now?
You know what? I'm great. I lost to you, so initially I was a little mad, but I came out this weekend in the green. I really did. I came out.
Forget about that.
I came out in the green.
I want to talk about.
And you personally know I came out in the green. So I lost, but did I really lose?
Yes,
so
you
really, some of my winnings is going to go.
That's
to pay
fine.
you, but I'm still in the green now.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm trying to
let's clarify that.
I'm trying to
Let's clarify that.
But within that game, I saw something that I felt like I've been saying all year in regards to the Steelers, that they were overrated. Ben Roethlisberger wasn't as good as everybody was saying as far as this year. They couldn't run the damn ball, and they just look trashy. They did get some garbage time stuff because they just got some they got garbage. They were coming back. That's fine, but
nah, man, it happens, man. They came out, they got hit in the mouth, and they took a three-piece, 5-piece, whatever you want to call it, and when you go down 28-0 in the playoffs against a pretty solid team, that's pretty hard to come back from. So that was one of them games. That was almost like the Alabama Ohio State game, to where at about the second quarter you knew it was over. Yeah. It was just all right. It is what it is. I mean, I was already looking at what hat I was going to get you about the second quarter, because I was like, man, this is a wrap. Like, there's no need. And even, matter of fact, I didn't even watch the whole game. So the little garbage touchdowns I ended up winning money on, I didn't even know about them, because I was just like, well, shoot, I lost this game, man. It's a wrap. Ain't no need to keep watching.
Right. So the Bills, and just for everybody, we're gonna do another playoff special this Friday. But the Bills beat the Colts. I think we both had the Bills winning that game, and that game was actually closer than a lot of people thought. I heard some people saying that the Bills were going to blow. I think you might have been one of the people that's no, you didn't. But the people said the Bills were going to blow out the Colts. And I said that I don't think that you should disrespect that team like that. I mean, they were a 10-win team. But Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen.
Yeah, so here's my take on that game. Mm-hmm. If you just looked at the score and you saw the fourth quarter, that game was a lot closer than – I mean, it was a lot it wasn't as close as it appeared to be. The Colts – after watching that game, nobody thought the Colts were going to win that game. The Buffalo was dominant, and they were in control that entire game. So I get it. It wasn't a blowout, and I get it that they only won, what was it, about 3 points it looked like? But it – yeah, it wasn't.
But it was always a one possession game. It was never out of reach for Buffalo. I mean for Indianapolis.
Okay, no, that's fair.
It was ever out of reach. So yeah, I get that. But Buffalo takes on the Ravens, who Lamar Jackson got his first win, his first playoff win. Way to step up. Who do you got? Buffalo, Baltimore.
I'm going with Buffalo. Sorry, Phil.
No, I'm actually going. I'm going Baltimore. I think Baltimore is gonna, even if it rains. I mean, if it snows, I mean that plays into to Baltimore's hands more than Buffalo. So I'm going Buffalo. I'll give a score on Friday. I don't know no scores, but on the other side, so we have the Browns. The Browns are going against the Chiefs.
Yeah, bet on the Browns again. Yeah, bet on the Browns against the Chiefs, buddy.
All right, so here's my. I've been thinking about this. Hold on, Scott. Hold on. I've been thinking about this all day. And I've been trying to find a way to save this. But here we go. if it's gonna take more than just trying to keep Mahomes off the field, right? And I feel like Cleveland has a really good old line that can push around some guys. I mean, the way they were bullying the Steelers, and I'm not saying that the Chiefs are the Steelers, but the way they were bullying the Steelers, if they can run like that and Baker Mayfield, and they can't turn the ball over, they can win this game. With that being said, I might be the only one. I'm going Browns over Chiefs. You're going to have Browns over Chiefs. Hold on, Scott. We're going to have an all AFC North. What, man?
Would you care to wager that?
When you say wager that, what do you mean?
Well, yeah, whatever you want to bet. Whatever you want to bet. Oh, somebody said a cap in the background.
So, all right.
Somebody said a cap.
All right. A cap. Another one? Can we do something else? Do we got to do a cap again? We don't.
Okay, what else you want to do? You don't have to do a cap. What else you want to do? Eddie? Yeah, I'll put you on the spot. Yeah.
How about this? Phil said wings versus barbecue. Hold on, how about this? We'll come up with the bet on Fridays on the special on Friday.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So we'll have a bet on Friday, and it'll be fun. Oh my gosh. I'm nervous now because I'm like, man, but it's cool. Whatever it is, it'll be fun. And we'll have fun with it or whatever. And me and Scott, we'll come up with something.
All right.
People are saying we don't have no sound, but I mean, clearly, Phil and people on Twitter, on Facebook and YouTube. So on the NFC side, we got Tampa and New Orleans. Who you got?
Tampa.
I have Tampa too. Not the Tampa too. I have Tampa also. And I have a feeling that New Orleans, this is around the time where they start something flukish is gonna happen. Something flukish. So here goes Trev. Something flukish is gonna happen. I feel like just watch that maybe Drew Brees throws an interception and it's a pick six to either seal the game or whatever. Something crazy is gonna happen or no call, whatever. So, but I have Tampa Bay going to the NFC Championship. Green Bay versus the Rams. I think. All
right, so this is where I'm going to have to step away a little bit, and I might be the only person that thinks this. I'm going to go Rams.
Really?
I'm going to go Rams.
I would like to know why. I really want to know why. This is
the Rams defense.
Yeah, their defense is legit.
I think Jalen Ramsey goes up against Adams, and I'm not going to say he's going to lock him down, but he's going to slow him down. And Aaron Rodgers, I know he's playing out of his mind, but that Rams defense looked so dominant last week against that Seahawks. So that's going to be the one game where I go against the grain. I'm going to go Rams.
All right, so I'm going Green Bay.
Okay.
I'm going Green Bay. Aaron Donald's hurt, by the way.
Yeah, he hurt his ribs.
Yeah, so he's hurt.
Ugh.
Jared Goff still has a bum thumb. And let's be for real. The Seahawks, second half of the season have looked mediocre. Seahawks have looked mediocre. Defensively, they've been not that great all year. Offensively, it seemed like I think it was after their bye, and it was just like, what is happening with the Seahawks? So I don't put too much, and that's a division opponent. I don't put too much stock into that game last week. Now, not taking anything away from the Rams defense. They have the best defense in the league. But I think that Aaron Rodgers figures it out, and he gets to the NFC Championship, and we get Green Bay versus Tampa Bay. I don't think that's ever been a conference championship game, but we're gonna get it.
I look for Cam Akers to have another big game up there in Lambeau.
He will have to in order for them to win.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the key.
Yeah, so I have so one game. All right, perfect. So you got the Rams. I got the Packers. I can't believe I picked the Packers. I don't even like the Packers, but whatever. so let's get into college football.
Let's talk one thing. Deshaun Watson. We have to talk about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. All right.
What are your thoughts on that, man?
He's fine. He's finally seeing the light. I mean, he did smart by signing that contract, but my God.
You think that was smart for him to sign the contract?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Well, when he signed the contract, they still had Hopkins. so at that time, it didn't seem like they were that far away. It was like it felt like they were just missing like a running game, and they needed their O-line to stay healthy. But now, I mean, once they traded DeAndre Hopkins, it was like, man, it was dumb.
I love what Andre Johnson came out and said about them wasting careers and stuff. Who's our MVP pick? Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, easily. I don't think it's unanimous, but it's unanimous. He's gonna win the MVP this year.
Yeah, he's gonna win it.
He was the best player this year. Yeah. So Andre Johnson was right on point. I heard some people say he's the best Texan ever. I don't think he goes ahead of J.J. Watt, but he has enough clout in that organization to say something like that, and he's knowledgeable enough to know how that organization, because he was there. So
you give the nod to J.J. Watt. Okay, I can see that. But Andre Johnson, yeah, he's second best Texan.
Yeah, absolutely.
All time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Then is David Carton. I'm joking, man.
Now there's DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Watson. Deshaun Watson. It's Deshaun Watson.
You put Deshaun Watson over DeAndre Hopkins?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's close. I wouldn't even say it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean it's too close to even argue.
Yeah,
right? I mean it could go. I can see the argument.
Yeah, and to separate those two and then see what they both do in separate situations, the organization looks crazy because you took away his best weapon, right? For years, DeAndre Hopkins has been looking for a quarterback. He finally gets it in Deshaun Watson. And then you just get rid of him because you didn't want to pay him, and now you're about to lose your quarterback. I mean, because he's gone. He's gone. I don't know.
You think he's gone?
Yes, he's gone. He is gone.
All right, so something we gotta talk about too.
Yes,
Doug Peterson.
Yes.
Did you see that coming?
So last week we talked about how he lost the locker room, and we felt like he needed to get off to a good start. We figured that if he didn't get off to a good start, he would get fired like mid-season or by the bye or whatever. I didn't see that coming, but I started to hear that him and Lurie about to meet again, and I was like, oh boy, but even then I didn't see him getting fired. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even surprised though. That's the crazy thing. I'm not even surprised, but that was crazy, and I think that he's gonna go to the Jets. He's gonna be the next head coach of the Jets, and he's gonna turn that organization around also.
Yeah, I think this is a classic example of somebody thinking they're better than they were, and he talked himself out of that job. From what I hear, he had threatened to quit, and he just wasn't on board with some of the changes that they wanted to make.
Right.
And when he proposed some of that stuff to the owner was like, okay, hold on. You're going to promote, like we had one of the worst offenses, but you're going to promote your quarterback coach to the offensive coordinator. It was just a lot of stuff that he was just kind of like, we shouldn't be promoting anybody. We should be looking to bring other people in, kind of shake things up. And he was just setting his way that he knew what to do. And then ultimately, and I told you this, they weren't going to move Wentz. They were invested in him. It's going to be tough to get out of that contract. So it was easier to just say, all right, you guys can't repair your relationship, then we'll just get rid of the coach.
I don't be surprised if Wentz is still not this. Is still not with the Eagles next year. I think he can be gone.
I think whoever gets that job is going to have to sell that they can right the ship with Wentz to get that job.
I heard a rumor that Gerard Mayo actually has that might be getting an interview with them, which I think is wild because he just retired like a couple years ago. He's only been an assistant for a year, so I mean that would be pretty cool. I would like to see that as another black head coach, but he's only been an assistant for a year. The linebacker from the Patriots.
It might be a Rooney Rule though. Be careful.
Yeah, I mean you're right. And the Eagles are so late in the game, with because they fired their coach. What 2 weeks after Black Monday. So it's like, oh man. So yeah, man. Don't be surprised if Wentz is not there. I won't be. I think he's still going. I think Lurie is still going to get rid of him. He's a diva, and if you can get that money off the books, and I feel like they have a long-term plan. That was the problem. Lurie had a long-term plan or 3 to 4 year plan, and Doug Peterson had a 1 year plan for next year, and they couldn't mix, and we ended up where we were.
Yeah, I heard he had threatened to quit midway through the season back in September too, and I heard that. Yeah, I heard that was kind of like where it all started is when he had threatened to quit. I think he was getting pressure to fire like his defensive coordinator or something like that, and he wasn't on board with it, so he had threatened to quit. So,
well, it's gonna be interesting. So I feel like they still are not going to win a division next year. Question for you. Do you think Dak is getting a contract?
I think they're going to franchise him again.
Well, I disagree there. See, we've been disagreeing all day. So, no, I do think he gets his contract this summer. I do. I think that Jerry Jones, as stubborn as he is not a dummy. And he knows that. Well, I'm not gonna say he's not a dummy because he should have signed him 2 years ago. But regardless, I think that Dak gets his deal this year. I think he plays week 1, and we see what happens.
So this is why I think he'll be franchised, because Dak holds all the leverage, and I think that he's going to want to explore all his options. I don't necessarily know if he wants to be a Cowboy. You know, he might just.
He wants to be a Cowboy.
I don't know, man. He might throw a number out there. If they don't meet it, he might just say, "Okay, go ahead and franchise me." Bet on himself again, and just tax whoever. I mean, because there's going to be plenty of teams that's going to pay him what he wants. So if the Cowboys can't figure out how to pay him, it puts him in a situation where, all right, I can go back. It's not like he's not going to recover from the ankle injury. I mean, he's going to get back to where he was. I mean, I know that's a tough pill to swallow for the Cowboy fans, but it's the reality. Yeah, you're right. They should have got that deal done.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that, but I do think that the deal gets done, and I think.
Oh yeah,
and I think that coming back is gonna be the biggest help for Ezekiel Elliott and the rest of those guys. I mean, that was the biggest. I feel like that plus the injuries were the biggest issue, with them.
So this is what I see. I see Jerry Jones getting in his own way again. And I heard an interview from him, man. It didn't give me like a warm and fuzzy feeling. He was just pretty much alluding to the fact that Dak has the leverage, but not much leverage.
I heard that.
And when I heard that, it made me think, is Jerry Jones going to stand up and not be bullied? And think like, okay, let me prove a point. Like, I'm going to throw a number out there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to offer you a few more million. If you don't bite, then I'm going to play a dangerous game of chicken. And that's where I see that Dak has the leverage to where he can meet Jerry with that dangerous game of chicken. And if it doesn't go well, he can explore his other options. I don't think that Jerry is thinking in his mind, like, you know what? I have to open up my checkbook. Like, I can go back and I can give him a couple more $1 million than what I offered him, and that's it. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna set a record paying him. I'm not going to go out there and just hand him a whole bunch of money. I'm going to essentially offer him what I offered him. We know this needs to work out, and then go from there. And if that's the strategy that he has, oh yeah, Dak Prescott would not be a Cowboy. So that's what's got me nervous about that.
All right, well, we're going to find out, man. All right, before we get out of here, Alabama beat Ohio State pretty soundly. Is that the best Alabama team ever?
It's hard to debate that it's not. When I first heard it, I was like, man, these guys are crazy. But then when you think about it, I mean, I was like, man, these guys are nuts. But when they posed the argument, they went undefeated in the SEC. They played in pandemic. They did literally beat the best competition that was up against them. All those players, I mean, they've got pretty much every award in college football on that team.
Best receiver, best lineman, best running back, best quarterback. Yeah, it was crazy, and that team, and we're gonna see in some years, but that team reeks of 01 Hurricanes.
Yeah, that team.
You're about to have a ton of first round picks off that team, from the DBs to the linemen to the quarterback to the running back to the receivers. You're going to have 2 receivers in the first round, and one of them played like 6 plays the whole year. No, he didn't. No, Waddle played in like 2 games, I think.
Devontae Smith
is the real deal.
It is the real deal. Those boys from Ohio State talked so much crap about how they were going to shut them down. My man's put up 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2 quarters. And, I mean, he gave it to them any which way they wanted it. Pause. Any which way they wanted it, they got it from him. I was like, man, he's beating them at everything. I will be surprised if he's going to be the number 2 pick. I think he should be the number 2 pick. I do feel like the Jets are going to go in a different direction, maybe try to get some offensive line help or something like that. But that's what they should do. That's what they should do. But yeah, he's going to be a good receiver if he goes to the right situation. I mean, I know he looks undersized and kind of reminds me of like a Marvin Harrison, Torrey Hope type build, but I don't care, man. I'm about
to say, if it's those guys, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Well, I had to remind somebody. I had to remind a couple of people that it was like, well, he's got this slim frame and he doesn't weigh a lot. And it's like, nah, there's other receivers that have been that good and dominant. You don't have to be 6'4". You don't have to be DK Metcalf to be a dominant receiver.
Right. All right, man. So we're gonna get out of here. Catch us on Friday. We're gonna have our playoff special. Should be fun. We may have a surprise guest again, like last week. But yeah, man. But I think we're done. We're done.
All right, man.
All right,
definitely, man. See you Friday, bro. Boy, Scotty B.
Yeah. All right. We out.
All right, peace.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com.